Welcome to Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt of the Marquardt Law Firm at marquardtlawfirm.com.
Welcome back to Talk Law Radio. I'm Todd Marquardt. We like to talk about legal issues because we don't want you to fall into a legal issue blind spot. So that's why you're here listening to me talk about the law on the radio. And I want to mention some of the laws that govern what happens to homeless people in their everyday lives. But we're going to be focusing on Mark Wittig, who's the president of Towne Twin Village. He's a philanthropist. He's retired from Wittig Office Interiors, which you worked there
50 plus years.
50 plus years. Wow. And so you didn't want to be bored and you decided to make a difference in people's lives. Is that right?
Well, I didn't want to be bored way before I retired.
Okay. Well, give us some idea about, I want to talk about the business end just for a minute or two. How did the lessons you learned in running a successful business prepare you for your philanthropic work these days?
Well, that's a good question. I think part of it in life is, having connections and reaching out and asking somebody to join you. So in business world, if you don't ask, you're going to have skinny kids.
Right.
And so developing that muscle, if you will, helps you in other things in life outside of business. So if somebody doesn't know about you, they can't help you. And we got to talk about it.
And so you have lots of friends, I would imagine.
I have a couple at least.
And when you were in the business, worried about employees and payroll and overhead and inventory, how did you find the space to start giving back to the community? What led you this way?
Well, it started way before I got into business. I grew up in Almas Park, which is a privileged neighborhood, if you will. And literally a couple long rock throws was some real poverty. And I'm pretty sure that the ladies that lived there were doing house cleaning in the area. Mm-hmm. They didn't have grass, but they had children playing. And so I saw the difference within literally less than a minute from my house. Mm-hmm. And so I'm the fifth of 9 children, and so that I was blessed and cursed with being an observer. And I just observed that not everybody lives in a nice house.
Right.
So, and as you get older, you find out it's far worse than that. Some people don't have a house at all.
Right.
And and then once you're homeless, your life skills, to the extent you had them, they deteriorate quickly.
Oh, I see.
Your self-confidence, your hunger, you're subject to being ill. You're subject to being robbed.
I've heard
it's a world far different than what you and I have.
Right. I've heard that when you reach a certain level of hunger, that's all you can think about is how can I get some food? And so you can't really think about a lot of other things.
There's that for sure. And then if you're homeless, the high percentage of them are where they're going to be. I'm going to say 6 p.m. somewhere early. Mm-hmm. They go to their place, they hide, and they go to bed early. And they just don't want to be vulnerable. So they have a whole different experience than we do. And of course, hunger is one. They're victims as well.
Safety.
Yeah.
Did you see that movie, Happiness, with The Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith?
Yeah, great movie. Yeah.
That what you said about being somewhere at a certain time made me think of that movie because he had to make sure that he was at the shelter at a certain time but he was also trying to become an investment advisor.
Yeah.
And so he would finish work and have to find his son and then get to that shelter at a certain time, and it was always very hard for him to do.
Yeah. It's a whole different world than what we have.
Right. So for those of us who don't know what Towne Twin Village is, I'd like for you to just give an overview, and then we can go into some details. This is Mark Wittig. He's the president of Towne Twin Village, and we want to know about what it's like there, and then how you would like to expand the program to reach more people.
Sure. Well, the backstory is a group of people formed a Catholic worker. And there's a lady named Dorothy Day who died in 1980 in her, I want to say in her 90s. And she served the homeless. And people who wanted to model after her, they would create a place, and anybody can do it. And it's not really about being Catholic. It just so happened that's what she was. And and so we started one in San Antonio 40 years ago. And 20 years ago, Dr. Chris Pleshay, a medical doctor, was looking to do something different. And she had been in medical 30 years. And so she came to us, quickly became our executive director. And she's serving the people. And when you serve the people, you get to know them and care for them and respect them. And you want more from them. You know the joy they have when they're with you. They feel safe and they can laugh and they can talk and have a good meal. But you also know what happens when they leave. So it was on her heart, is there a way that we could provide housing? And from when it was on her heart to when it actually happened, I don't know if 6 years went by, a period of time. One is finding a site, which is a lot easier said than done. We as human beings, we all have fear, and the neighbors would fear, oh my gosh, violence and robbery and all kind of stuff. And so you look around. We wanted a site that was on a bus line because the people we serve don't have a car. And so it took us a while to find a site, and when we did, we also, Dr. Chris did not want to run what is now Towne Twin Village. She wanted to serve at Towne Twin Village. So we created a board for Towne Twin, and that board raised the money, and Catholic workers on the site under the name Dorothy Day. And but we have an administrator who had worked for the city. Ironically, our neighbors, we were in Dignowity, and Dignowity started gentrifying the last 15 years. And they were those who would call the city anytime they had a reason to, thought they had a reason to, and complain about somebody walking on their grass or whatever it might be. And there was a time where Edward Gonzalez, who worked for the city, was sent to Catholic worker to close it down. And when he went in there and he saw what was happening, how people were being served, and the dignity in which they were being served, he called back and says, I can't do it. So if you send somebody else to do it, I'm not going to do it. And ended up not doing it. And they would work on us on things that we could do to reduce the tension. But they also knew that we were looking for a site. It takes time to get a site, but we finally did, and we sold the property, and we're out of Dignowity.
Okay, so where is it now?
It's off at WW White inside 410, and it's 17.4 acres. And one of the criteria was a bus line, and we have a bus line. It would stop 100 yards from where our site was, but they ended up creating an extra bus stop on our site so that you can get off the bus and you're there.
Oh, right.
And we have a shaded area with water and restrooms at the site. In fact, the driver of the bus will get off, and he'll go take advantage of the restroom and take advantage of refreshing his water, his cooler. And so it works out really well. It's on Route 22, and it's the last stop, and then the apartments next to us is the first stop. So.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
And so part of this comes from the philosophy housing first. Are you familiar with that, Joseph?
I'm not, no. The term.
Okay. Can you talk about what housing first means?
Well, good people who want to help would come up with a concept that if you want to stay here, these are the rules you got to abide by, with the thinking that will make things work.
Mm-hmm.
And it does work. It does work for some, but there's others who says, they're not going to go from where they are into that philosophy.
Right. Because of their hierarchy of needs.
They're cold turkey.
Yeah.
And so there's another philosophy that started a while back in housing first, and you help them get settled, and then from there they can make some life choices. In Austin, there's a place called Community First Village, and they have grown. They're about 10 years ahead of us. They have grown to where they're serving like 2,000 people.
Okay.
It's with several campuses, and we copied several things from them. But their statistic is that about 70% of those who are on drugs or some type of, they let go of it at some point, not on day one necessarily, but at some point they realize they're home, and they don't need this other stuff. This other stuff was dealing with their own wounds.
Right.
It's a way to mask it.
Wow.
And of course that doesn't help anything, but that's a lot of us mask in one way or another. It's a human thing.
Yeah.
And so they discovered that, and we've discovered it too. I know one person who was able to, this is very unusual, but he was able to drop everything on day one.
Let's talk about this more after the break. We have to take a break talking with Mark Wittig, president of Towne Twin Village, and Joseph Warren with Financial Planning HQ. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
This has been Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt, brought to you by the Marquardt Law Firm. You can learn more at marquardtlawfirm.com. And be sure to listen to the full Talk Law Radio show Saturday mornings at 11 on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
Most families don't realize they have hidden legal blind spots until it's too late. Wills, trusts, Medicaid planning, even protecting a business. These are the kinds of issues attorney Todd Marquardt helps uncover before they become problems. Todd is the host of Talk Law Radio, where each week he guides listeners through the legal challenges families, veterans, and business owners face, while showing them the practical steps to protect what matters most. Catch Talk Law Radio, Saturdays at 11 a.m. on 9:30 a.m. The Answer, 6:30 a.m. The Word, and now in Houston on AM 1070 and 103.3 FM The Answer, or anytime on YouTube. Planning isn't just about documents. It's about peace of mind, security for loved ones, and building a legacy that lasts. Don't wait for a crisis. Do it before you die.